The shimmering light of the Xilarian ship pierced through Earth's clouds, casting golden rays across the landing platform. Captain Hannah Kim stood with her back straight and her heart racing. After years of deep space signals and distant communications, first contact was finally happening. The United Earth Defense had chosen her to lead this mission because of her calm nature and quick thinking. Behind her stood a small team of scientists and military personnel. They all wore the blue and silver uniforms of Earth's diplomatic corps. Hannah checked her translator pin one last time. "Remember the briefing," she told her team quietly. "No sudden movements. Keep your hands visible. Follow my lead." The massive ship settled onto the platform with barely a sound. It was shaped like a teardrop, with a smooth pearl-white surface that seemed to shift colors depending on how the light hit it. For several long moments, nothing happened. Then a section of the hull rippled and dissolved, forming an elegant doorway. A tall figure emerged, ducking slightly to exit the ship. Princess Talia of Xilaria stood nearly 7 feet tall, with slender limbs and skin that glowed with faint blue patterns. Her eyes were large and completely black, with no visible pupils. She wore what appeared to be living garments that moved slightly with each breath she took. 2 guards flanked her, each carrying what Hannah assumed were weapons, though they looked more like musical instruments than guns. Hannah stepped forward, bowing slightly as instructed by the limited cultural briefing they had received. "Princess Talia, I am Captain Hannah Kim of Earth. We welcome you to our planet." The translator pin on her collar worked quickly, converting her words into the musical tones of Silurian speech. The princess tilted her head, the patterns on her skin shifting to a brighter blue. "Captain Kim," she replied, her voice sounding like multiple tones played at once when translated to English. "I have looked forward to this meeting for many cycles." Hannah noticed how the princess's skin patterns pulsed in time with her speech. According to the briefing, Silurians communicated not just with words, but with these bioluminescent displays. "We have prepared quarters for you and your team," Hannah said, gesturing to the gleaming diplomatic building behind them. "If you would follow me." "A moment," Princess Talia interrupted, stepping closer. She towered over Hannah, her scent like fresh rain and something alien Hannah couldn't place. "In my culture, first meetings require proper greeting." Before Hannah could respond, the princess raised her long-fingered hands and placed them gently on either side of Hannah's face. The touch sent a strange tingling sensation through Hannah's body, and she fought the urge to pull away. One of the soldiers behind Hannah moved forward, but she raised her hand slightly, stopping him. She had been told to expect cultural differences, though nothing in the briefing had mentioned physical contact. The princess's skin patterns swirled rapidly, and Hannah felt a strange pressure in her mind. Not unpleasant, but definitely foreign. After a few seconds, Princess Talia removed her hands and stepped back. "Interesting," she said. "Your species feels emotions so strongly. So, individually." Hannah tried to keep her expression neutral despite her racing heart. "Is that unusual?" "Most spacefaring species develop collective emotional processing as they evolve," the princess explained. "It helps manage the complexity of advanced civilization. You humans remain stubbornly separate from each other, even in your minds." "We value our individuality," Hannah replied carefully. The princess's patterns shifted to a purple hue. "That is precisely why I chose Earth for this mission, Captain. Your species fascinates me. So adaptable, yet so attached to your separateness." One of the princess's guards stepped forward, speaking rapidly in their musical language. The princess responded with sharp tones, her skin flashing with patterns too quick for Hannah to follow. "Is there a problem?" Hannah asked. "My security chief believes I should not share such thoughts with you so soon," Princess Talia explained. "He fears your species is not ready for certain truths." Hannah felt a chill run down her spine. What truths would those be? The princess studied Hannah with those bottomless black eyes. "The true reason for our visit, Captain Kim. This is not merely a diplomatic mission." The air between them seemed to thicken. Hana was acutely aware of her team tensing behind her. We have been watching Earth for centuries, Princess Talia continued. Your species possesses something unique in the galaxy, something the Xilarian royal line has been seeking for generations. And what might that be? Hana asked, keeping her voice steady despite her growing concern. Princess Talia's skin patterns formed complex geometric shapes, pulsing with increased intensity. Your emotional resilience, your adaptive capabilities, your potential for mental growth. She leaned closer. I am here to learn if humans might be compatible with Xilarians in ways no other species has been. Compatible, Hana repeated. Yes, the princess said, her translator making the word sound like a musical chord. My people face extinction without new genetic input. We believe humans may be the answer to our survival. She extended her hand, palm up. Will you help me discover if this is possible, Captain Kim? Hana looked at the alien hand extended toward her, then back at those fathomless black eyes. This was far beyond the simple diplomatic mission she had been briefed for. Whatever she did next would shape the future of human-Xilarian relations. Taking a deep breath, Hana placed her hand in the princess's. I will try, Your Highness, for both our peoples. The princess's skin lit up like a galaxy of stars. Then our journey begins. 3 days after the Xilarians arrived, Hana sat in the morning briefing room with Director Jin, head of Earth's diplomatic team. The large windows showed the Xilarian ship gleaming in the early sunlight. You're telling me the princess wants to what? Director Jin asked, his coffee cup frozen halfway to his lips. Bond with humans, genetically, Hana repeated. Their species is facing some kind of reproductive crisis. They've been watching us for centuries, and they think human DNA might be compatible with theirs. Director Jin put down his cup. And they didn't mention this in any of our pre-contact communications. They were afraid we might refuse to meet them if we knew their true purpose, Hana explained. Jin rubbed his temples. The Security Council will have a fit. We agreed to a cultural exchange, not to become genetic donors for an alien species. Hana nodded. I understand, sir. But Princess Talia seems convinced that this could benefit both our species. She mentioned something about Xilarians having advanced mental abilities that could be shared with humans through this bonding. Captain, Jin said firmly, we need more information before we even consider such a proposal. For now, maintain diplomatic relations but make no promises. Yes, sir. Later that day, Hana met Princess Talia in the garden specially designed for the Xilarian delegation. The plants had been chosen for their resemblance to Xilarian flora, with bioluminescent flowers that glowed softly in shaded areas. The princess wore a flowing garment that seemed to ripple with each movement, changing color slightly to match her skin patterns. She was studying a butterfly that had landed on her finger. Such delicate creatures, she said as Hana approached. So brief in their existence, yet so beautiful. Like many things on Earth, Hana replied. Princess Talia's skin flickered with blue patterns. You've spoken with your leaders about our proposal. I have. They are hesitant, the princess stated. It wasn't a question. They need more information, Hana said carefully. Your request is unexpected. The princess released the butterfly, watching it flutter away. I understand their caution. But time is not our ally, Captain Kim. My species has less than 3 generations before our genetic diversity becomes too limited for viable offspring. 3 generations seems like a long time, Hana said. For Xilarians, that's less than a century, Princess Talia replied. We live much longer than humans. One of the princess's guards approached and spoke rapidly in their musical language. Talia's skin patterns darkened in response. Is something wrong? Hana asked. My security chief believes I'm sharing too much information too quickly, the princess explained. Some in my delegation think humans aren't ready for such knowledge. And what do you think? Princess Talia's black eyes fixed on Hana. I think humans are stronger than my advisors believe, But to prove this, I need your help with something important. What kind of help? I want to demonstrate the Xelarian bonding ceremony at tonight's reception, the princess said. It's a harmless ritual that allows two individuals to briefly share sensory experiences. It would show good faith from both sides. Hannah hesitated. What exactly does this ceremony involve? Physical proximity and synchronized breathing, Talia explained. It allows Xelarians to create a temporary mental connection. Nothing invasive, just a sharing of basic sensory input. And you want me to participate in this? Yes, it would demonstrate trust between our species. Before Hannah could respond, her communication device beeped. It was Director Jin requesting her immediate return. I need to go, Hannah said. I'll consider your request for the ceremony. When Hannah returned to the diplomatic building, she found Jin looking grim. We've received a message from the Xelarian ship, he said. It seems there's a faction among them that opposes any genetic sharing with humans. They consider us too primitive. Does Princess Talia know about this? That's unclear. The message was sent anonymously, Jin replied. Captain, I'm concerned this situation is more complicated than it appears. We need to proceed very carefully. At the evening reception, tensions were obvious despite the elegant setting. Human diplomats stood in small groups, watching the taller Xelarians with barely disguised unease. The Xelarians themselves seemed divided, some attempting to engage with humans, while others remained aloof. Princess Talia approached Hannah, her skin glowing softly in the dim lighting. Have you considered my request, Captain? All conversations in the room quieted as people turned to watch them. I have, Hannah said, but I've been advised against participating without more information about what this bonding entails. The princess's patterns darkened. I see. You fear what you do not understand. We're cautious, Hannah corrected. There are concerns on both sides. What concerns? Talia asked sharply. We received a message from your ship, Hannah said carefully. Some of your people oppose any connection with humans. They think we're beneath them. The patterns on Talia's skin flashed rapidly. Who sent this message? It was anonymous. A tall Xelarian stepped forward from the princess's entourage. Your Highness, I advised against trusting these humans. Their suspicion proves my point. Advisor Mino, Talia said coldly, you forget your place. And you forget yours, Mino replied. The Royal Council did not authorize you to share our genetic crisis with primitives. The room grew tense. Human security personnel subtly moved closer to their diplomatic team. Perhaps, Hannah suggested calmly, we should continue this discussion privately. No, Princess Talia said, her voice rising. Let's be clear before everyone. I came to Earth because I believe in human potential. Others in my delegation see only your technological limitations. If humans cannot even accept a simple bonding ceremony, Mino said loudly, how can they possibly help with our genetic needs? Director Jin stepped forward. We're not refusing anything permanently. We're requesting time to understand what we're agreeing to. Time, Princess Talia said softly, is exactly what my species lacks. She turned to Hannah. I thought you were different. I thought you understood what's at stake. With that, the princess and her delegation withdrew from the reception, leaving the humans in uncomfortable silence. Well, Director Jin said quietly to Hannah, I'd say diplomatic tensions have officially begun. The morning after the failed reception, Hannah found herself pacing in her quarters. The diplomatic mission was falling apart before it had properly begun. Her communication device chimed, displaying a message from Director Jin. Emergency meeting. 10 minutes. When she arrived at the meeting room, Jin was staring at a screen showing the Xelarian ship. Its normally pearlescent surface had darkened to a stormy gray. They've sealed their ship, Jin said without turning. Cut off all communication. The princess is refusing to speak with any human representative. Except you, said a musical voice from the doorway. Hannah turned to see Princess Talia standing there alone, without her usual guards. The patterns on her skin were subdued, pulsing slowly. "Your Highness," Jin said, clearly surprised. "How did you?" "Your security is impressive for your technological level, but inadequate by Xelarian standards," Talia said. She looked directly at Hana. "I need to speak with Captain Kim." "Alone?" Jin hesitated, then nodded. 5 minutes, then I'm calling security." After he left, Talia's formal posture relaxed slightly. "My advisors believe I should abandon this mission and seek another species for genetic compatibility." "Is that what you want?" Hana asked. "No, I still believe humans are our best hope." Talia stepped closer. "But I need to prove it to my people." "How?" "By showing them that humans can adapt to Xelarian ways," Talia explained. "I propose an exchange. Teach me human customs, and I will teach you ours. If we can bridge this gap, perhaps others will follow." Hana considered the offer. "This isn't just about cultural practices, is it? You want to see if I can handle the bonding ceremony." "Yes," Talia admitted. "The ceremony is harmless but intimate. It would demonstrate your species' adaptability." Hana took a deep breath. "All right, I'll try it. But we start small, with basic cultural exchanges, and I want everything explained to me first." For the first time, Talia's skin patterns brightened with what Hana recognized as pleasure. "Agreed." Over the next week, Hana and Talia met daily in a neutral space, a garden pavilion set up between the diplomatic compound and the Xelarian ship. They began with simple things: food customs, greeting rituals, basic concepts of personal space. "Humans maintain invisible bubbles around themselves," Hana explained on the third day. "Standing too close feels threatening or overly intimate." Talia tilted her head. "But how do you sense each other's emotional states without proximity?" "We read facial expressions, tone of voice, body language." Hana demonstrated various expressions. "We also just ask how someone is feeling." "Inefficient," Talia commented. "Xelarians share emotional states directly through our bioluminescent patterns and proximity sensing." She demonstrated by moving closer to Hana and allowing her skin patterns to shift through various colors and shapes. Each pattern conveys specific emotional information. Hana found herself fascinated. "So your skin actually communicates?" "Yes, and in close proximity, we can sense each other's biochemical states," Talia explained. "This is why physical closeness is so important in our culture. Without it, we feel disconnected, isolated. Like humans using phones instead of meeting in person," Hana suggested. Talia's patterns brightened. "Yes, exactly." By the 5th day, both had made significant progress. Talia had mastered respecting human personal space, while Hana had learned to read basic Xelarian skin patterns. Their sessions were being recorded and shared with both delegations, slowly rebuilding trust. "I believe we're ready to attempt the bonding ceremony," Talia said as they finished their 6th session. Hana nodded, though her heart beat faster. "What do I need to do?" "Sit facing me," Talia instructed, settling cross-legged on the floor mat. Hana mirrored her position, their knees almost touching. "I will place my hands on either side of your face," Talia explained. "You should do the same to me. Then we synchronize our breathing and maintain eye contact." Hana swallowed nervously. "And what will happen exactly?" "You'll feel a connection forming," Talia said. "You may experience some of my sensory perceptions, and I will experience some of yours. It's temporary and completely safe." Taking a deep breath, Hana nodded. "Let's do it." Talia raised her long fingers and gently placed them against Hana's temples. After a moment of hesitation, Hana did the same, touching the princess's surprisingly warm skin. The contact sent a tingling sensation up her arms. "Now breathe with me," Talia instructed. "Look into my eyes." As Hana stared into those bottomless black eyes and matched Talia's breathing, the world around her began to shift. Colors intensified, sounds became musical, and she could suddenly sense emotions that weren't her own. curiosity, excitement, hope. She gasped as her awareness expanded. She could feel the plants around them breathing, sensed the subtle electromagnetic fields of nearby electronics. Most strangely, she could feel Talia's heartbeats, all three of them, pulsing in a complex rhythm. "This is how you experience the world," Hannah whispered, amazed. "And this is how you experience it," Talia replied, her voice filled with wonder. So vivid, so focused on details, so individual. They remained connected for several minutes, sharing perceptions and emotions without words. When they finally separated, both were breathing heavily. That was, Hannah struggled to find words. "Successful," came Advisor Mino's voice from the doorway. He had been watching with several other Xilarians and humans, including Director Jin. "More than successful," Talia said, her skin patterns glowing brightly. "It proves humans can adapt to Xilarian consciousness." Jin looked concerned but impressed. "Captain Kim, are you all right?" Hannah nodded, still processing the experience. Yes, it was intense but illuminating. Mino stepped forward, his skin patterns showing what Hannah now recognized as reluctant acceptance. "Perhaps I was hasty in my judgment of humans. This demonstration suggests potential compatibility." "Then we continue," Talia declared. "The exchange has only just begun." The assembly ship arrived exactly 1 lunar cycle later, descending from the clouds like a massive island of light. It dwarfed the Xilarian vessel, which now seemed tiny by comparison. Thousands of people gathered at viewing points around the world to witness the historic moment, while global leaders convened at the diplomatic compound. Hannah stood with Director Jin and a small team of Earth's highest-ranking officials. The past month had been a blur of preparations, briefings, and anxiety. Today, humanity would learn its fate. "Nervous?" Jin asked quietly. "Terrified," Hannah admitted. "Everything we've worked for comes down to this." The assembly ship hovered silently above them. Then a beam of golden light shot down, materializing into a platform. 7 figures descended. The Galactic Assembly Council. Each member represented a different species alliance. Princess Talia stood among them, the only familiar face. A tall being with 4 arms and skin like polished obsidian stepped forward. "I am High Counselor Vex, Chief Representative of the Galactic Assembly. We have reviewed the assessment of your species." The world held its breath. News drones broadcast the moment to every corner of Earth. "Humanity presents an unusual case," Vex continued. "Your technological development is rudimentary by galactic standards. Yet your problem-solving approaches display remarkable creativity and flexibility." Another counselor, who appeared to be composed of interlocking geometric shapes, spoke next. Many assembly members questioned whether a species so young could contribute meaningfully to our collective. Hannah felt her heart sink. This sounded like a rejection. Princess Talia stepped forward. "If I may, counselors." Her skin patterns formed complex shapes Hannah had never seen before, formal patterns, she realized, for addressing the assembly. "The Xilarian studies of human genetic adaptation potential have yielded unprecedented results," Talia said. "In controlled environments, human DNA has demonstrated compatibility with 12 different assembly species, including Xilarians. This alone makes them valuable." "Genetic compatibility is not our only criterion," said a counselor who floated above the platform, wrapped in swirling mist. "Of course not," Talia agreed. "But consider, during Captain Kim's assessment, she approached every challenge differently than our standard models predicted. This cognitive diversity is precisely what the Assembly needs as we face the void expansion." Hannah blinked in surprise. This was the first she'd heard of any void expansion. High Counselor Vex studied the human delegation. Captain Kim stepped forward. Hannah moved ahead of her group, standing tall despite her racing heart. "You underwent the bonding ceremony with Princess Talia," Vex stated. "What did you learn from this experience?" Hannah considered her words carefully. "I learned that understanding requires more than observation or communication. True connection means experiencing another's perspective, even when it's uncomfortable or alien to your own. Humans have always sought to understand the unknown. It's our greatest strength, and sometimes our greatest weakness. "And what do you believe humans can offer the assembly?" asked the geometric counselor. "Fresh perspectives," Hannah said simply. "We approach problems differently because our evolution followed a unique path. Where established methods fail, new approaches may succeed." The counselors conferred among themselves in a language Hannah couldn't understand. Finally, Vex raised all four hands for silence. "The Galactic Assembly has reached a decision. Earth will be granted provisional membership, with full review in 5 of your years." A wave of relief washed over the human delegation. Director Jin closed his eyes briefly, exhaling slowly. However, Vex continued, "There are conditions. Earth must establish a permanent exchange program. Selected humans will train with assembly species to learn advanced technologies and cultural integration. In return, Earth will host representatives who wish to study human creativity and genetic adaptability." "We accept these conditions," said Earth's Secretary General, stepping forward to stand beside Hannah. Additionally, Princess Talia added, "The Xilarian Royal House requests that Captain Hannah Kim serve as Earth's first ambassador to Xilaria, to continue our genetic compatibility research." All eyes turned to Hannah. This wasn't just a diplomatic position. It was a request to help save an entire species. "I would be honored," Hannah said, meeting Talia's gaze. The princess's skin patterns brightened with clear joy. The formal ceremony that followed was broadcast to every corner of Earth, and Hannah learned to thousands of worlds throughout the Assembly's territory. Treaties were signed, oaths were taken, and humanity officially joined the galactic community. Later, as the crowd celebrated, Hannah found a quiet moment with Princess Talia in the garden where they'd first attempted the bonding ceremony. "You never mentioned this void expansion before," Hannah said. "What is it?" Talia's patterns darkened slightly. "A threat beyond assembly space, something consuming stars and planets. Our best minds have failed to find a solution. And you think humans can help?" "I know you can," Talia said. "Your species approaches problems unlike any other we've encountered. While we seek optimal solutions based on existing knowledge, you imagine entirely new possibilities." Hannah smiled. "That's a fancy way of saying we make things up as we go along." "Sometimes that's exactly what's needed." Talia hesitated, then asked, "Are you certain about becoming ambassador to Xilaria? The genetic compatibility research will be intimate." "I understand," Hannah said. "But if my discomfort means helping save your species, it's worth it." Talia's patterns formed what Hannah now recognized as deep gratitude. "In 1 month, we'll depart for Xilaria. You should prepare your team." "My team?" "Of course," Talia said, surprised. "Earth needs more than one representative. We'll need scientists, cultural experts, perhaps even artists to fully establish relations." Hannah nodded, already thinking of who to recommend. "We'll be ready." As twilight fell, they looked up at the stars, no longer distant and unreachable, but the beginning of humanity's new frontier. "I still can't believe it," Hannah said softly. "Everything changes from this moment." "Yes," agreed Princess Talia, her patterns matching the starlight above. "For both our worlds."